your juicy lady, and I am joined today by Sarah Téibo. Sarah Téibo is an urban gospel singer-songwriter and the lady behind Steal My Joy, which did really, really well when it was released last year. And Sarah, I have to say, is making quite a bit of a splash in the UK gospel scene. So Sarah, thanks for joining me today. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having me on your platform. I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Thanks.
Absolutely. Listen, we cannot pass up an opportunity to have a chat with you because you are really doing things well right about now. So you have released just one single. Well, you've released two because you've just released this week your second single. But before now, you've released Still My Joy.
Correct.
You've really managed to make yourself feel like you've been around for quite some time. And you've had some real good success.
Thank you.
So tell us, how have you managed to do that?
Okay, I'll probably start by saying I haven't had any success yet. And I'm not saying that to be flippant or anything, but I think there's a lot more that can be done. There's a lot more bandwidth that can be reached, and yeah, I think there's a lot more that I can do. However, what I can say is that in terms of how I've got to where I am now, I am quite a workaholic, and I did a bit of homework and research into the industry just to understand what's the best way to do things. And I try to just follow in the tracks of those who've gone ahead of me and who've been successful and have done really well for themselves. And I'm only just starting.
Wow.
So I know there's a lot more that I can do by God's grace, with God's favor, all being well. So yeah.
So you're saying that, you've not had much success and but in fairness, Sarah, you have done quite well. You've received award nominations.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been seeing you on various media platforms. So, you can big up your chest a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So, fill us in on some of the things that you have actually achieved thus far.
Right, so I was nominated Best Newcomer for the GXMMA Awards, which took place on Easter Monday this year. Was it Easter Monday or Easter Saturday? At Easter rather. And I also recently got nominated for Premier Gospel Awards, the first ever Premier Gospel Awards, as the Best Newcomer as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was a huge privilege and a huge honor, recognizing, my hard work and dedication. And I was also, my track was actually number 2. It charted number 2 in December on the Step Forward Christian chart. So that's Still My Joy. That was in December. So it was released in November. So for it to chart at number 2 in December, I think I was actually quite pleasantly surprised. And I think it just goes to show that if you make it world class, it will go worldwide. Because even in the US, I was picked up. My music was picked up. I got certain features on blogs and what have you from American blogs, and the song Still My Joy has been played on radio in the UK, in Europe, in Canada, in America, and also some Nigerian blogs and vloggers picked up the music as well. So in that regard, I'm very, very grateful that the work that I've done so far has been acknowledged and recognized globally. And it's such a huge honor, and for me it does spur me on, and it just gives me that drive to carry on doing what I'm doing, or what I've just started doing, and to carry on aiming for excellence in the way that I execute what I do.
Sarah, I anticipate huge things from you.
Oh, thank you.
One single, you've had all of that already, and you're like, oh no, oh, I've had nothing, oh, I've still got so much to do. That's brilliant. So we're seeing that you're a hard worker, that you're a businesswoman. But help us to learn a little bit more about you from the music point of view. So when did you start singing?
I started singing when I was about 10 in the children's choir. So I was probably one of those kids who everybody else didn't like, because I always got to do the solo. So every time we had a song, it was Sarah's going to do the solo, And then obviously moved on to the teens choir. And the good thing about my church then, and that was in Nigeria, by the way, is that we used to be tasked with writing our own songs. So we used to have themes every month and what have you, and we'd be asked to write the song to go with the theme, in line with the theme for the month. So that was where I started learning how to write music. Obviously different from what I'm writing now, but that's how that gifting sort of started. And then sang in different groups in school, That's not my music, by the way. That's my 3-year-old.
She just wants to be a part of
Wants to be a part of it, and I can't blame her. What can I say? She's my little, my little business partner. So yeah, I started writing music in my teenage years and joined groups in school and started singing more so in church. And what I found was that people started asking me things like, so when are you going to release your album? When are you going to do something outside of church? When are you going to go do a concert and stuff like that? And my response was that I don't think it's the right time. And there are a few reasons for that, for me saying that. One of them is because I kind of felt that I hadn't heard the sort of sound that I wanted to bring to gospel music. I hadn't heard it, and I hadn't identified the sort of people that I wanted to work with, and I also just didn't feel it was the right time. But when a couple of people came to my church and asked me the same question, and it started becoming real to me. So Noel Robinson came to my church and heard me sing. And then after the meeting, he said to me, what are you doing with your voice? What are you doing with your music? Where are you taking it to? I got the same challenge from Mark Beswick. Isaiah Raymond came to my church, asked me the same question.
Oh.
Mary came to my church. She stood up Erica Campbell, then Mary. She stood up when I was singing. Obviously, she didn't ask me in person, but when people like that sort of validate your gifting, it kind of tells you probably should be doing a bit more. So that kind of informed my decision to not just write music and put it out there, but do a lot of research into how best to do it as well. Because one of the things I've found is that you can have a good voice and you can produce good music, but you need to take it somewhere.
Yeah.
So it was how to take it somewhere that I needed to work on, as well as bringing up good music. So that pretty much was how I came up with, I think it's time. I prayed about it a lot as well. I actually prayed and fasted for a long time. I don't want to tell you how many days. Actually, I prayed and fasted for about 40 days. There you go.
40 days. We don't do things by halves.
No, what it was, I was actually fasting and praying for my whole life, just getting direction in every aspect of my life. I got direction on the music, on the album, on the strategy as well. So I actually got like a download from heaven on the strategy, how to go about releasing my music and things like that. So that has really helped, not just the physical aspect, but also getting a clear direction from God on how to go about what he has assigned me to do. So I think that's pretty much a summary of the journey, and it's still an ongoing journey, which is why my album coming out, titled Walk With Me, basically talks about walking with me from where I've started to where I'm going.
Okay.
And I'm doing it hand in hand with God, with God's help. So
I have been fortunate enough to have a little listen to the album, but for those who haven't yet, can you talk us through like some of the themes and the genres, because there's a number of different genres within there. So yeah, can you talk us through it a little bit?
Right, so Walk With Me has 11 tracks, of which 2 are remixes. And there's a remix of Still My Joy you don't want to miss, and that was done by Marcus Johnson. And there's also a remix of New Day, which features Lorraine Cato, Becca Folks, and Theophania Obeng. That is a really beautiful remix. And one of the things I love about my project is the fact that I've got some really good collaborations. So I just feel in the gospel scene we need to do a bit more, collaborating, especially we singers. I find the rappers collaborate a lot more.
Yeah.
And I think we vocalists, or we singers, should I say, should probably, take a cue from them and just work together more. And that's one of the messages I'm trying to bring out with my music is, if you look at the album, there's quite a few people coming on there and bringing their unique creativity, to the project, which is really good. And in terms of genres, you've got, on the project, you've got R&B, you've got soul, neo-soul, some jazz on there. There's an Afrobeat track.
Oh.
Which, it was reviewed yesterday actually by the Sound Doctrine, and one of the things he said on his on the write-up was that you'll be forgiven for skipping to that track to listen to it first and staying on there for a while before you listen to everything else on the album. It's a really good upbeat Afrobeat track. I Will Sing is what it's called. But my favorite track of all on the album is I Long For You, which is a cry of my heart, because like most Christians, we tend to have our lives filled with so much stuff. Legitimately, we've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got, business, relationships, challenges, health challenges, whatever it is. And sometimes these things drown out, our time, the time that we should be making out for God, And so for me, that song just reflects the story of my life. It's like I'm longing to just be quiet, to be in a place where there are no distractions, where there's nothing happening other than just me and you, God. That is the cry of my heart, As the deer pants for the water, my soul is thirsting, desperate for you. So that song is really close to my heart, and that's my favorite song on the album, followed by New Day. I love New Day, and I'm sure you would. I'm sure you do because you've heard it already.
I actually love it.
Yeah, it's a really lovely, sort of mid-tempo neo-soul groovy track. And my prayer for New Day, and I'm hoping it happens, is that New Day will almost be like a theme song for morning shows and stuff like that, because that's really what it's about. It's like waking up in the morning and being inspired to go out and do what you purposed in your heart to do with God's help, and just going out for your dreams and chasing after it and knowing you can achieve and do whatever it is that you set your heart to do.
I like the whole album actually. The song with Israel Allen, it really stands out for me.
And Triple O, that's featured Israel Allen and Triple O, and that's Keep the Faith. That song has a very, very personal, I've got a personal connection to that song as well, because I wrote that song after having 2 miscarriages. So that song is actually a reminder that if you keep the faith, and then I had this one after 2 miscarriages. So if you keep the faith and you just trust in God, He will come through for you, because it was also written out of pain. I've prayed so hard, I've waited long. And what's even sometimes frustrating for us Christians is we get a blessing, because a miscarriage is like a blessing you get and then it just disappears. And you're wondering, God, why did you give it to me if you're going to take it? And that was the kind of place I was in. And God just taught me to keep holding on and keep the faith, because things will turn around if you just hold on. And that's what that song featuring Triple O and Israel Allen is about. And it's another really, really beautiful, inspirational song. And it's good because it's got a really good rap in it, which, I think we've got 2 raps on there actually, but Triple O, he did a really good job with the rap on that track. Yeah.
So how a few people have received the album to have an early listen. How has it generally been received so far?
Really, really good feedback. Amazing feedback from some really good people, some influential people in the industry actually, and I'm really humbled. And some of them have actually given me anonymous feedback, so I can't say their names, but some really prominent people in the industry have come back to even tell me their favorite tracks, and to say I've done a good job for my first record, and they're really proud of me being a new artist and bringing out such a high quality album. So for me it's humbling, and it's also an honor to have your work acknowledged in such a way, by such prominent people. So people like yourself, and some other people who work with record labels as well. So I'm really grateful, really grateful for the feedback. It's been really encouraging.
Okay, so talk to us about the launch of the album, because it's not officially out yet. So when is it out?
So it's out on the 8th of May, and there's actually going to be physical copies of the CD on the 8th of May for people to to get signed copies of. On the 8th of May, I'm going to have a live gig, my first headline gig live at the 606 Jazz Club in Chelsea, London.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll be performing some of my original music for the very first time from the CD. There'll be some acoustic performances of some of the tracks as well. And it's called Sunday Brunch, so it's a good opportunity for you to just, for once, after church, just come out, chill with the family, have a lovely meal, listen to lovely gospel music with a twist of jazz, and it's just a cozy, lovely, setting. So I'll be really glad to see everyone who's watching. Hopefully the place will be big enough for everyone. But I'd really love to see everyone at the event, and obviously get a signed copy of the CD as well. And yeah, that's the plan for the 8th of May.
What are you expecting to see following all of the activity that you've put in, all of the hard work, and the release of your album on the 8th of May?
My genuine prayer and hope and expectation for this album is that it will make it into the charts.
Okay.
That's it. Long and short of it.
Okay.
That it would impact the lives of everyone who listens to the music on it. But I genuinely pray that an independent artist who is a singer, not a rapper, will make it into the charts.
Okay. And that's the UK Christian and Gospel album chart.
Yeah, the official charts.
That, my friend, is a good goal. I like that, and I'm going to do everything I can to help you get.
Oh, thank you.
Order for your album. So Sarah, I'm going to let you go because I know your daughter's she's been trying to close.
She's actually behaving now, thank God. So, let's not jinx it.
But I have to ask you the most important question. I anticipate that you're going to have a whole load of interviews and all kind of things coming very soon, and you're going to get asked a load of things. But this is the most important of all. What is it that makes you juicy?
Pardon? I didn't get that, sorry.
Oh, after all of that Big hype. Sarah.
I'm sorry.
What makes you juicy, Sarah? What makes you?
Oh yeah, what makes me juicy?
There you go.
My swag.
Okay. Your mama swag.
Mama swag. I'm a singing mom, you know. My swag.
Okay. Brilliant. So thank you so much again for your time today. And all the best. Like, honestly, all the best. We pray major things for you off the back of Walk With Me. So just again, your album is releasing when?
On the 8th of May. My album Walk With Me is out digitally on all online platforms, and it would be physically available at my gig at the 606 Jazz Club in Chelsea, London. It starts at 1:30, so come with your friends and family. It's called Sunday Brunch at the 606 Jazz Club. I'd love to see you there.
Brilliant. Okay, Sarah, thanks so much, and take care. Keep it juicy.
I will, and you too. Thanks for having me. I genuinely appreciate it.